Slowly but surely, One Piece is approaching the end. With Gear 5, Luffy has touched the ceiling of his power, and his journey is also on its way to reach its peak. Oda is obsessed with generational transitions. It played a huge role throughout the story. So, once Luffy becomes king of the pirates, what comes next? Will there even be a new generation? What will inspire them, and what role will Luffy play? In case you don't know, this video is part 2, but I'll briefly summarize the main points of the first part. Oda's philosophy is largely about the transitions of generations. Every generation has a specific time period they're tapped in, but at some point the new generation arises and mostly replaces the old. On the one hand, there were characters who accepted that their time was coming to an end. For example, Joy Boy, Roger, Whitebeard, Garp, Rayleigh, and so on. All of them started to pave the way for the upcoming new generation. Their spiritual counterparts were Big Mom and Kaido. Both didn't come in terms with their time being over. Therefore, they were forcefully sorted out by the new generation. Imu, one of the main villains, tried to overcome this pattern. Because of that, it's certain to say that Imu will face the same fate as Kaido and Big Mom. That was the very rough summary. It would be better if you watched the first part first, but you should have gotten the idea anyway. It's also very important to understand that every generation has their own tasks to fulfill. Roger's major tasks were to find the One Piece and call out the new generation of pirates. Luffy's task is probably to free the world from the manipulation and power structure implemented by Imu, which is completely different from Roger's task. Luffy is the protagonist, and his generation has the spotlight. But him being the protagonist doesn't change the fact that one day his time will also come to an end. Once he achieved his goals, his generation is forced to decide to either accept it and embrace the new generation coming after them, or to refuse, and their place will be taken by force. Either way, they have to clear the area for the new generation. Throughout One Piece, the rather good characters from the older generations, whether marine or pirate, at some point found peace with their own time coming to an end. And they eventually started to pave the way for the new generation. That's a huge and important part of how Oda views the world. Instead of mourning about the own time being over, embracing the new generation is the right way for Oda. So once Luffy reaches the end of his journey, becoming king of the pirates and fulfilling the other dream we still don't know, I am 100% certain that he will also embrace the new generation like his spiritual forefathers did. Luffy will accept that his journey came to an end, and that the future belongs to the upcoming generation. He will probably retreat to a secret island with Hancock and live a quiet life there, similar to Rayleigh. That brings us to the next question. What might inspire the new generation to go out for their own adventures? For Roger, it was the One Piece, and for Luffy, it was the position as the king of the pirates. To offer possible answers, we have to talk about the state of the One Piece world at the end of Luffy's journey. To be totally honest, I think we will get a very happy ending. All the bad guys will be defeated. The only Straw Hat member, which I think has a small chance of dying, is Usopp, but they will probably all survive. And Luffy's will, mindset and attitudes will be implemented into the new world structure, as is already the case. Almost every future person in power will respect Luffy, and will be in line with his worldviews. I see two major possibilities to motivate the new generation. I should add that we are now in the highly speculative area. Number 1, not all mysteries about the One Piece world are solved by the end of Luffy's journey. There are already a lot of theories about the sea level and possible hidden unexplored cities, which are currently underwater and freed at the end. Luffy, after becoming king of the pirates and finding the One Piece, won't be interested in exploring these new areas of the world, which therefore might become the task of the new generation. Number 2, Luffy will do the same as Roger and call out the new generation of adventurers by himself. Luffy might hide an own great treasure which everyone starts to search for. In contrast to Roger, Luffy obviously won't be executed. Luffy will still be present in some way. Maybe he will show up if someone attacks his friends, or he will seal his haki inside new old technology similar to Joy Boy and protect his areas in that way. His Jolly Roger will continue to exist, and it will be a metaphor for his presence after his journey. A rather passive role which can come into action. I believe that the world of One Piece will be a peaceful world at the end of Luffy's journey. But based on Oda's worldviews, I can't imagine a world with no potential adventures and mysteries. He loves the adventurous spirit too much, and it fits perfectly with his attitude towards generations. From a real-life perspective, I don't think that Oda plans to continue the story after Luffy. Therefore, I believe there won't be a sequel to One Piece as it is with Naruto and Boruto. But we know how greedy the manga and anime industry is. One Piece is the by far biggest and therefore the most profitable manga of all time. The regular anime already has a horrible pacing to maximize the profit. It's so bad that it will be reanimated by Wit Studios with an appropriate pacing. I think it's very plausible that One Piece will continue in one way or the other, but fundamentally different from the One Piece we are witnessing now. The most likely scenario, which could be approved by Oda, are shorter stories exploring the world after Luffy's journey, similar to JJK and Modulo. However, that's still relatively far into the future. One Piece has definitely entered the endgame, but there's still a way to go for Luffy, and we shall enjoy every second of it. And in either way, you now know what I think the world of One Piece will look like at the end of Luffy's journey and beyond. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and write your opinion in the comments. Check out the first part and my other videos. More content on the way, so subscribe to my channel. And yeah, hopefully see you soon.